Alright, this is Resurrected Hobbyist with part 6 of my look back at the various dating options in Ydin Holder. Last time I did Essie and what's her name? Sable. This time we're doing the alien girl and I don't remember her. Anyway, so alien it is. Pool. The pool was vacant when Vikkel and Suvi walked out of the change rooms. Surely you jest. I'm not kidding. Submerging yourself in a liquid that exists only to provide a base nutrient for life is insane. I can't really say I disagree with her. Are you saying your people don't swim? Of course not. Such an activity only benefits aquaneers and sea life. Aquaneer? What's that? I believe that is the proper term in your Earth words. It is a person whose job relates to water. The Grand Palace requires great reserves of water to be stored, and aquaneers are the ones who maintain them. So, like a technician or engineer? Wouldn't an engineer work with engines? You sure have a weird understanding of our language. That's not quite what it means, no. Regardless, the point is this liquid is out in the open. Who knows what kind of weird things are floating about in it? Are you okay even being on Earth then? What if you catch some sickness? My people have previously visited this world. We aren't so different as to be genetically incompatible. Yeah, except you could go from one part of one continent to another part of the same continent and be subjected to different illnesses that you haven't been exposed to. So coming from another planet, biological compatibility isn't the issue. That's more the problem. Microorganisms shouldn't be a concern then. Sure. There is a world of difference between that and willingly submerging oneself in such a disgusting body of water. I'll just take a dip alone then. Before Vikkel could argue, Suvi dove into the pool. The splash caused her to take a few steps back. Are you insane? You're just in it now. And you almost got it on me. The boy began to swim around. You're afraid of a little water? Are you afraid of showers as well? I'll have you know that our automated body scrubbers purify any and all filth that dares to touch us. Now, this is just a guess, but you can't swim, can you? The princess's expression answered Suvi's question, but she shook her head anyway. Of course I can. How insulting. I'll have you know that I was the best swimmer among my sisters. Then prove it. Prove it? I have nothing to prove to you. Vikkel swiftly returned to the change room. Okay, short, to the point. Move it on. And back at the pool. Suvi began doing warm-up exercises. Why are we here again? Because I want to swim. Okay, but why bring me? Well, I thought you'd be less afraid of the water if you learned how to swim. I am not afraid. Like I said, this water is filthy. Yes, this is a world of barbarians. But, sometimes you just need a little courage. Interesting dating line. Suvi reached out and grabbed Vikkel's hand. What are you doing? And maybe a little push, or pull in this case, and into the water. Yep, there we go. He pulled the princess toward the pool and jumped in, dragging her into the water. Ah! The pair dipped under the surface for a few moments before Suvi's head popped back out. Vikkel struggled under the water until Suvi pulled her to the surface, coughing and gasping for air. You bastard, you know I can't swim! Saw that coming. So, you admit it. Get me out of this water right now! You can do it yourself. I just told you, this is the shallow end. The princess stared at Suvi before looking down and standing by herself. So it seems it is. I wouldn't let you drown, Vickle. You've made your point. I shall consider learning to swim. With her graceful movements, she went to the side of the pool and pulled herself out. Well, that's a start. I'm not entirely sure risking drowning is a good dating method. But, then again, my dating record could best be described as exists. So, who am I to talk? And number 3, back to the pool. Suvi stood in the shallow end of the pool, his hand outstretched for the princess. Come in. Come on, it'll be alright. I'm already aware of the statistical risk. Really? You spent time researching that? I'm aware that certain principles of my normal lifestyle don't easily convert to this world. I merely used my ship's onboard computer to calculate the risks involved. Well, you're overthinking it. Yeah. Vickle hesitantly took the boy's hand. With his help, she finally got into the water. Are you sure this temperature is safe? It's cold. You'll get used to it. What next? Learning to swim takes practice. So just keep a hold of my hands and lift your feet off the floor. But then I'll sink. That's what I'm here for you. That's what I'm here for you. I'll keep you from falling to the cold depths. I'm guessing that's supposed to be, that's why I'm here for you. Or that's what I'm here for, and get rid of the you. Not really sure. She did as instructed, struggling to maintain her balance, but the boy steadied her. The science behind buoyancy was simple to comprehend, yet I'm struggling to maintain it. Yeah. I'm just glad you're trying this out. I was worried you'd spend your entire year huddled up inside your ship. I was not huddling in it. My ship is designed to analyze other planets and search for potential threats. Did it find any? Many. I cannot believe humans live in such a dangerous world. Well, we don't have space travel like you. We're mostly stuck here. So it seems. Suvi smiled as Vickle seemed to get a grasp on floating. You and that beast girl sure made this look easy. Nia's good at everything physical. I can't even get close to her level. Speaking of which, what about that soldier of yours? Who, Kiros? He's not my soldier, you know. I've never actually seen him swim, so I'm not sure. Anyway, how are you doing? This feels strange. It's cool, but I'm getting used to it. The difference in pressure is weird. It's squeezing me in rather odd places. Just focus on floating for now. Once you can do it without holding my hands, we'll move to the next step. All right. Was that 3? Okay. Alright, so, next one. What's going on? Suvi sat across from Spessarton. I have no idea how to say her name. He glanced around the room, examining her chosen decor. You didn't really want much, did you? Your inferior beings desire too much. I was sort of hoping you had changed your mind about us since you agreed to stay here. Don't misunderstand my intentions, Ydin Holder. If I could return home, I would. My name's Suvi. It doesn't matter. It sort of does, actually. 3 seasons remain before this comes to an end. That isn't much time at all. I've waited longer for lesser things. So you're just gonna sit here until I... Okay, apparently some of my painting supplies want to commit suicide. So you're gonna just sit here until a portal opens home? You came here to save your world, didn't you? If you can't go back until then, won't things get worse? You know nothing about my home. Well, I'd like to know more. That stone ship was extremely powerful. There are more of them, aren't there? There are always more, and if they show up again, I will turn them to dust. We certainly appreciate your willingness to help us. I'm not helping you. I'm defending the enemy of my kind. I'm defeating the enemy of my kind. There's a difference. I suppose so. The boy eyed her sword. Is that the only way you have of fighting them? We have other methods, but the one's been the most successful. I see. Look, I know you don't trust us, and that's fine. But won't it be lonely if you lock yourself up in here? Your worry is pointless. This world is of little importance in regards to my goal. Yet you were sent here. It was only out of desperation. Once I return, I shall overcome the enemy and bring the war to an end. Well, she has a high opinion of herself. But that doesn't concern you. Alright, fine. But someday, I will get you to open up to me. I promise you that. Yeah, that sounds a little creepy, actually. As soon as Suvi entered the room, he saw Spessarton. How the hell do you say that? Tending to her sword. It's you again. Yep, yes, it's me again. Did you honestly think I'd leave you alone for the entire rest of the year? I'm sure she hoped. Okay, well, consider that a first mark of good writing on this character. You really hate me that much? Nonsense. I'm indifferent to lower life forms. However, this situation frustratingly demands that I make contact with you. About that, what's stopping you from returning home again? If I knew, I would have remedied the issue already. Well, what do you know? Maybe we can help. Translation, you're annoying the shit out of me and I want you out of this house. The golem eyed Suvi. This planet doesn't follow the same fundamental laws that govern my homeworld. You mean like gravity, mass, heat kind of fundamental laws? If that's true, how are you still alive? And what about that stone airship we saw? Yeah, those are questions on my list too. There we go. You truly don't understand? Anomalies retain their original properties. We don't do a lot of universe hopping, so no, we're not accustomed to dealing with things from other universes that obey different laws of reality. That witch, the plant woman, even the undead creature. This house is filled with impossibilities. That would explain why Sable can't make new zombies but retains her undeadness. I thought it was quite obvious. Well, sorry, this is still new to me. You have a deadline. Perhaps literally. Make the best of your time while you can, human. She continued doing maintenance on her sword. Okay. Spess drew her blade from its sheath in one smooth motion and held it in a stance. As smoothly as she drew it, she returned it to its sheath. It's a very unique sword. Each warrior has a sword customized to their own personal fighting style. The blade is by far the longest that was crafted. Really? Because of your height? Yes. My greater arm span allows me to draw it easily. The golem drew the sword halfway to inspect the blade. Suvi took the chance to approach her and look at the weapon as well. Fascinating. It's pitch black. The tempering process removes the impurities from the materials and strengthens the blade, making it darker. Interesting. What kind of material is it made of? I care not for the composition of weapons, but I believe it's a type of obsidian. Obsidian? Is that not a type of living stone like yourself? Spess glanced at Suvi, causing him to retreat a step as she sheathed the sword. In theory, it would be closer to the likes of the stone ship than us. So it is alive. No. Well, sorry if I offended you with that question. Why do you want to know so much about this sword? Because I've seen what it can do. An obsidian sword made here would shatter on the first strike, even if a sword is well made. To bring out that much power requires great skill. You've surprised me, human. So you do know how to compliment your superior. God, I hope she gets hit. In the hands of anyone else, this sword would be fairly weak. But in my hands, the hands of my people, it is the strongest tool we have. Oh, this is going to be a fun situation. The war shows no sign of ending. If we had to reforge our blades after every skirmish, we'd be overwhelmed swiftly. By the stone ships? You have the charisma to draw words out of people, human. I'll give you that. But my affairs are none of your business. Return to your harem and leave me out of your foolish games. Whatever the outcome, I do wish to help your world. Spess, I hope you know that. Okay. Alright, so... So, with Essie, my questions were basically about her as a character. With Sable, my questions were of her in terms of motivation. What does she want? Why is she here? Etc., etc. With Vickle and Spess, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to really quantify my questions about them. There's not a lot going on with Vickle to tell me much of her backstory beyond she's a princess. And she's somewhat, high-strung, I guess is the best way to put it. And with Spess, like, why is she here? And I get why she hasn't left Earth, but why is she still here in the house? I don't know, there's just a lot of questions, and her constant irritation and dismissal of Suvi doesn't give me a lot of answers. But at the same time, I'm not given any information to want those answers either. It's like, it's like being in school and being assigned with someone who's just like, yeah, whatever, you do your thing, shut up and go away. No, I meant shut up and go away. I don't want to talk to you. It's just like, okay, what is my motivation for dealing with her? Like, why do I want to know more about her at all? Is basically what that boils down to. So I've still got some time. I guess I'll do 3 of this video. So, cat girl at the shop. If I remember correctly, she came to there looking for hunting equipment. 2 companions walked down the street together. Nia, that's what her name was. So, where are we headed? I'm not sure yet. You usually have a plan. Not this time. You said that long ago. This plan used to have no technology, right? Kind of depends on how you define technology. Yeah, so? That means sometime in your history, you were also hunters. Do they still exist? Yes, it's more for sport nowadays, but there are still people who take pride in going into the wilderness. Then there must be a place for them to obtain tools. Let's head there. I'm curious to see what the hunters of your world use. A hunting shop? Interesting idea. Not sure if any of them would measure up to your standards, though. Don't worry about that. Less thinking, more doing. Alright. There's one fairly nearby. The beast girl tilted her head as she stood before the gun case. What are these? Guns. They're similar to what Essie uses. Hers looked a lot more powerful. Because they are. These are just hunting rifles. I don't understand. Well, humans can't compete with the natural talents of animals, whether it's in strength or speed. So hunters take one of these, find a good spot to hunker down at, and wait. Oh, I see! Then your prey comes to you eventually. A hunting style that focuses on surprise attacks? I highly doubt this kind of weapon would be useful to you. And you're right, husband. Hunting is about making the first move before your prey runs. But with this sort of weapon, you'd only get one opportunity. 2 at most. Letting your prey escape would mean death where I come from. Being able to track them down if they get spooked is important. Well, I've never gone hunting myself, so my knowledge is lacking. Your world shares a lot of information through your phones and whatnot. It's not like you can't learn. Just having the ability to look up techniques for anything is quite admirable. You think so? Yes. Having been born into such a system, you may not see it. But from my point of view, it's quite magical. Yeah, I really don't think of it that way. Don't worry, I'll make a hunter of you yet. Well, that was a little more creepy than I was expecting. Okay, shop number 2. The duo arrived at the hunting shop where Nia pointed at a wall filled with liquids. What are those? Let's see. It says here they're pheromones or something. You mean like animal scents? Yeah, they're either to attract certain animals or ward others off. You have a sharp sense of smell, so I wouldn't recommend them for you. These sorts of things tend to be very strong and linger for quite a long time. Thank you for the warning, husband. I'd be very distraught if I couldn't catch your scent for a while. Okay. Her comment made the store clerk glance their way for a moment. Have you really memorized my scent already? Of course I have. When you're not home, I sneak into your room and sniff you, boy. The clerk gave them another strange look before moving to the other side of the store. I'd prefer if you stopped doing that. You can't stop me, husband. Since you're always busy going on dates with everyone, there's plenty of time for me to sneak in there. I'm guessing a door lock won't help. You'd easily break through it. Yeah, it'd be a waste of a lock. Now I'm worried about what you've been doing in my room. Hopefully not scent marking. It's important for one to familiarize themselves with their husband, especially before joining them in union. Boy, am I glad that clerk moved to the other side of the store. Nia, please stop. We're in public. And you're still much too shy. Fine. So in regards to hunting, you'd use these scents in combination with the rifle? Yep, exactly. Tricking your prey's senses to betray their feelings of safety. How dastardly. You don't agree with it? When it comes to survival, it doesn't matter if your methods are fiendish or not. You gotta eat in the end. If it works, that's all that matters. An understandable answer. My nose is bugging the hell out of me tonight. Is that 2 or 3? Okay, it was 2. Nia looked over the clothing section while Suvi kept her company. Now, this is easy. Camouflage so your prey doesn't see you. Exactly. Hide in plain sight. See, where I'm from, we dig under the snow a little since it was always on the ground. I see. So she's a snowcat girl. What are those bright orange and yellow jackets for? Ah, yes. Basically, they're worn so other hunters know you're a human and not an animal. Oh, wow, that's... Now I see why your hunting system is so flawed. You do? Obviously, if you need other hunters to be able to identify you, these long-range rifles have been mistakenly fired at your own kind. My village used to have feuds with another over prey, but since our senses are so keen, we were never surprised to find each other. Used to? Well, yes, I told you before, right? There's not enough prey to feed everyone. What happened to them? Our stubbornness won, and they eventually left the area to search for a new hunting ground. They haven't been heard from since. Sorry to hear that. Don't be. That was before my time. I never knew any of them. Survival of the fittest, huh? You're strong, Nia. Aw, thank you, husband. I'll train you to be strong, too. Okay, I'm pretty sure that was all 3 of hers now. Yep. Okay. So, with Vickle, I'm basically getting like a day in the life kind of thing, but with no major character information. You know, why was she sent here? What is her motivation? What is her... Does she have a personal interest in Suvi? Is she annoyed with him? Is she... You know, is she treating this as an ambassadorship? Is she treating this as a mission? Is it a personal stake? There's just not a lot of information here for me to gauge that one way or another. With Spess, it's kind of the same thing. She's here, she's done things, she's not interested in being personable or friendly. She's like, yeah, whatever. When I get out of here, I want to go. I'm done. Shut up. So... I can say the writing is good enough that the characters work. I just don't know enough about the characters to say anything about them. A little bit less so with Nia. I definitely get the feeling that she came here by choice. Now, whether it is by choice to get away from where she was or to find something here, unclear. But either way, she definitely chose to be here. She, like you said, she regards Suvi as her husband. Now, what that means to her way of life is unclear. She doesn't seem especially bothered by the idea of her husband going on dates with the others. So it may be that her people are polygamous. It may be more like... you know, a lion where one male will have several females. I'm not really sure. I'm interested in finding out. So, but yeah, so I'm going to call this for this video, and I'll do the other 3 characters next video.